Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Bornopolis, bringing you some more Pokemon TCG content. This week we're going to be looking at a new and powerful deck. We are going to be taking a look at Fates Collide's mascot, Alakazam EX. I do have to make a confession. I did kind of underrate this card quite a bit when it first released due to its low HP and its weakness to Psychic, and Psychic being such a prominent type right now with cards such as Pumpkaboo and Trevenant that I wasn't too excited about it, but decided I'd give it a shot anyways, kind of make a deck based around Alakazam and see how it plays. I have been blown away. This is probably one of the most fun decks that I've played in some time. It may even be more fun than my favorite deck, Gardevoir. So let's go ahead and take a look. We are taking a look at Alakazam. He is going to be our main source of damage. His ability, Kinesis, is what we're really going to be taking advantage of here. Before it evolves, you may put 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon and 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So you're already doing 5 damage out there, powering up some major damage here in the future. He does have an attack, Suppression. Put 3 damage counters on each of your opponent's Pokemon that has any energy attached to it. So that's nice. It does kind of get annoying when they're not really attaching to their bench, but it does do quite a bit of damage when they start spreading energy around a little bit more. A couple things that I didn't like about this card, guys, was, again, the low HP, 160, below the average as far as other EXs go, which is fine. He does live quite a bit, and his weakness, wasn't a fan of Psychic weakness, and his retreat cost is 2. So there's a lot of things going against it, but he has a lot of things going for him as well. Now, the other thing I didn't like about this deck when I first started looking into it is I'm not a huge fan of Mega Pokemon. And I may do a segment on that later on why I'm not a huge fan of it, but they are powerful cards. And we're going to take a look at Mega Alakazam EX, who has 210 health, which again is pretty good, but when you look at things like Primal Groudon with Grass weakness and a lot more HP, Grass isn't as prominent as Psychic, but again, he is very powerful with his Zen Force ability. This attack does 30 more damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So let's say you only do the 2 damage when he evolves and then you attack, that's 70 damage. If you get more Mega Alakazam's EXs out, you have 40 on the active opponent's Pokemon, and that is now doing 120, 130 damage, just for getting 2 Mega Alakazams. And you can actually just use the same Alakazam, and we'll take a look at that as well further on. And that's what makes this deck so much fun, is that with how much damage you're putting out and how much damage Zen Force can do, you can see some massive numbers, which is always fun to see, guys. Now, the next big card that I have to go over, and when I kind of was looking into Alakazam and that whole thing, a lot of people were making deck lists with one Wobbuffet. I call this the Alakazam Wobbuffet build because I play 3 Wobbuffet. I want to start with Wobbuffet if I can, especially if I'm going second. With his Bide Barricade, it shuts off Shaymins. That's the big one. Yeah, it slows your opponent down a little bit, so they can't just be refreshing their hands, that kind of thing. That's why I like Wobbuffet. Not only that, but he has Psychic Assault, which is another good attack. It's very similar to Alakazam's Suppression, or not Suppression, but Zen Force. It's like the baby Zen Force, pretty much. But it does the same general idea, the same attack, just a little less damage. And it does work if he's the only thing you can attack with. But the other nice thing is we also play Hoopa. So the one thing I do have to say again about Bide Barricade is it isn't affected by Psychic Pokemon. So you can still use Psychic Pokemon's abilities, such as our Kinesis ability, and Hoopa's ability, Scoundrel Ring, which allows us to get 3 Pokemon EXs. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do with this, and I'll go a little bit more into detail once we get through the trainers a little bit more as well. So you can get, 3 Alakazams, 2 Alakazams, 1 Mega Alakazam, 2 Alakazams, a Shaman, whatever the combination you need at that time might be. So that's it for the Pokemon. We do play 2 Shaman, just as a side note. I don't really use Shaman much in this deck, but once in a while, he does come in handy. Now, a lot of people might think that Wobbuffet's annoying with Shaman, but I'll show you how I have managed to get around that multiple times. Now, I only play 6 energy in this deck. I've never had an issue getting energy. In fact, I actually have complained several times in a couple of matches to where I only have 6 energy in this deck, and all I can draw is energy. So it's kind of a nice thing and a kind of a pain in the butt, but you can get through it. Now, as far as the trainers go, we do play 4 de-evolution sprays. De-evolve one of your Pokemon and put the highest stage evolution card into your hand. Works very well when you have only 1 Mega Alakazam. So you can actually evolve one of your Alakazams on your bench, de-evolve him, and put him onto the active Alakazam, allowing you to actually attack while doing a lot of damage with the ability. Now, I do play four puzzle of times. So to take advantage of the second ability, if you played 2 cards, put 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. Makes it nice when I need extra de-evolution sprays or some extra super scoop ups. Flip a coin, put one of your Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your hand. So if you only get one of your Alakazam Spirit Links and you can pull off a heads on Super Scoop Up, you've saved yourself a lot of time and energy. And again, putting some extra damage out there. I do play 2 Trainer's Mails, only 2 Ultra Balls. I usually use the Ultra Ball to get the Hoopa out. Not a lot needed to explain about that, so I can get the Alakazams and that kind of things, while still having my Wobbuffet in the active position, hopefully. 3 VS Seekers, 1 Az, 2 Lysanders, 2 Ns, 4 Birches. I liked Birch more than I did Sycamore. I found out with Sycamore, I'm just throwing away cards that I needed all the time. One time I had 3 de-evolution sprays in my hand with 1 Sycamore, and yeah, that enough said. I had to basically discard all my de-evolution sprays, and it kind of threw the game away. 2 Skylas. Skylas make it nice and easy to get my Alakazam Spirit Links. We will play 4 of those. And the one thing, this is kind of what really made me not want to go with the Alakazam very much, was because if you get all your Alakazam Spirit Links out for some reason, and they decide to Starling Megaphone, which I have never been Starling Megaphoned. Kind of amazing that nobody's really playing that. And I actually watched somebody actually discard the Starling Megaphone to use an Ultra Ball, which was kind of weird, but yeah, that's what they did. So, and actually I had a guy ask me what Spirit Links do, so that was kind of weird too. And so it makes it nice because you don't end your turn when you Mega Evolve. Very important. I do play the 2 Floatstone in case there's enough damage out and Wobbuffet is still in the active position. Now, the one thing that I do, and this is one of my favorite combos, is if Wobbuffet's up front, I can get a Floatstone, and Robo Substitute is sitting on my bench. I can actually retreat into Robo Substitute, play my Shaman, and just discard my Robo Substitute and put Wobbuffet back up front to prevent my opponent doing much more. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, he can Lysander and again use Shaman. Well, yeah, they had 2 Lysander, so they can't Sycamore. So they can only refresh their hand once during that turn. It's amazing. So that's what I think about when I'm making these decks. That is it as far as what's in this deck and why I chose what I chose. Again, I think Wobbuffet has been underrated in this deck. I feel like this whole set has bolstered him, in my opinion. Feel free to disagree, but show me why, and then I hope you guys try it out, and hopefully you have as much fun as I did running this deck. So let's go ahead and teleport over and watch a match. See you guys. All right, guys, I'm excited about this matchup. We're getting right into it, so let's see how this goes. All right, we win the coin toss, so we shall go first. And let's see what kind of hand we get here. All right, Wobbuffet, exactly what I want to start out with. So we've got some decent cards here. We've got Floatstone, which we'll use on Wobbuffet right off the gate. We already have a Spirit Link, a De-Evolution Spray, and a couple of energies, so we're pretty well set. And we shall take the extra card and Robo Substitute. Perfect. And another Wobbuffet. And we are looking at Hawlucha. Which isn't too threatening for our Psychic deck, where you don't really mind fighting Pokemon at this point. And let's see, we'll put the Ultra Ball up front, Lysander, and actually we'll put the Dimension Valley first. Go ahead and attach an energy here, just deaden our hand a little bit. And guys, like I said before, I really underestimated the power of this deck, and now I'm actually really excited about it. It's been a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys will be able to make this work as well. So right now, he doesn't have the capability of actually using any Shamans unless he has a Lysander, which I'm not too worried about, because that'd be a complete waste of a Lysander. And a complete waste of a supporter at that point. But he already played the Karina, so we don't have to worry about that. So yeah, he won't be able to play Shaman, which is kind of nice. And he's got a Cyndaquil out on the board. Kind of interesting. We're going to have to deal with Typhlosion. And Ultra Ball. We don't really need the Wobbuffet. We don't need the energy. And I think we're going to get Hoopa here, so we can get some Alakazams out on the board. We'll get 2 Alakazams, and I think what we'll do is we'll get the Shaman here. And with what we're going to do, this is why I like Wobbuffet and the Robo Substitute. It makes it so much nicer. So go ahead and attach the Spirit Link. We'll retreat into Robo Substitute. We'll Shaman and draw a couple new cards. And then we'll go ahead and discard the Robo Substitute and put Wobbuffet back up front. And we'll get the Dimension Valley. So we're getting pretty well set up here. And discard. We'll put Wobbuffet back up front. No reason to Spirit Link right now in case they decide to use a Startling Megaphone. We'll have the extra Spirit Link for backup. And we'll do the 10 damage. And this is why I like Wobbuffet. He has basically the baby version of Mega Alakazam's ability. So we can just start doing damage and it'll add itself up after a while. And he's pulling out another Hawlucha. And a Level Ball. Let's see, maybe he'll get Brazen out, or not Brazen, but Quilava. Oh no, another Cyndaquil. I guess that's a better move. And the more and more I play with the cards from Fates Collides, I'm actually really pumped up about the set. It's been very exciting and a lot of cool cards that have come out of it. So I'll probably do some more work with that. I've got a Delphox deck in the making, so hopefully we can take a look at that in the coming week. And he's going to knock out our poor little Wobbuffet. And let's see. Darn, only 160. I wish he would have done a little bit more damage, so that way he could have drawn out a little bit more of his energies there. That would have been nice. So we'll send up Alakazam. And we got another Hoopa. This will allow us to get another Alakazam and another Mega. So we'll attach the second Spirit Link. We'll go ahead and attach Alakazam. And we'll start doing damage to the second Cyndaquil, so that's less likely he'll be able to use another Typhlosion. And de-evolve and Evolver active. And we'll go ahead and knock out Cyndaquil and Typhlosion this turn. So this turn turned out pretty well. I do say so. So 40 damage times 30 is 120, so we're going to do 130 damage here. The damage adds up so quick. It's one of the best things about this deck. You're going to see a lot of high numbers like that. And now that we have two Super Scoop Ups, we'll go ahead and on our turn we'll Super Scoop up Alakazam. Hopefully we get at least one heads. And then we'll just be able to do 2 damage because we got the Skyla and we can get the another Devolution Spray. So it really works out in our favor. So here we go. Let's see. Ooh, first head, so that's perfect. We'll go ahead and scoop this up. We'll put the Alakazam with the Spirit Link up front. We will attach the second Spirit Link. We'll put an Alakazam on the board. And we'll also evolve. And we'll start knocking out the other Cyndaquil. So let's go ahead and attach an energy. And we'll play Skyla for the Devolution Spray. Attach, and then we'll evolve our active Alakazam. Perfect. And conceded. So I hate that button so much. That's all people do anymore. But anyways, that is it, guys. So very exciting. Like I said, I've underrated this deck quite a bit, but I've come to enjoy this deck very much. I've been basically only playing this deck for the last couple of weeks. So I hope you guys are able to structure it and play with it and have some fun with it. If you liked the video and if this helped you in any way, please share and subscribe to the channel. Would greatly appreciate it. And if you guys have any suggestions on how you would make this deck better, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'd like to see what you guys have done and how it would benefit you guys. Thanks and have a good day.